Donovan and a guy by the name of Chase gets sucked out of the airplane.
And then when they get sucked out, Donovan's tie gets caught on the plane door, and his head's just smashing against the window. And Linda just puts the shade down and continues
That's
her
the
flight.
best part of this entire movie.
This is Opening Kill. The following program contains mature content, explicit language, and detailed discussion of on-screen deaths. Spoilers are unavoidable. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Opening Kill, the horror film podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brian O'Connor.
And I suppose I am the other host of Opening Kill. I am Michael Duran.
And welcome to episode number 70 of Opening Kill.
77. Oh, nice. Look at us.
I know,
rolling.
look at us.
Who'd have thought?
Well, how are you on this fine day?
You know, it's been a week. It's been a couple weeks. And we're just trying to keep up on everything, man. Like, I'm just like scrambling, I feel like, constantly. So it's nice to have this little hour or so to just talk about a movie.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be kind of sad here because next week is our season finale, and we've got a great episode. We'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode. But I know we're going to have like 4 months to just kind of figure out what to do on every record day, right?
I know. Hopefully we'll still watch a shit ton of movies.
Oh, yeah.
And do some stuff on the socials. But yeah, as far as recording, we get a little bit of a break. So that will be nice, though.
Well, we have all of those scare previews between you and me to catch up on over the last 2 years, basically. So
I know. Yeah, I was able to at least watch 2 of mine.
Oh, you were?
I think it was at least 2. Yeah. So that was good to catch up on some of those. I'll just talk. I won't talk too much about them because there was quite a few that I saw. So the first of my scare previews that I saw, though, was Forbidden Fruits. It was like that Witch Coven meets Mean Girls movie.
Yeah.
I thought that one was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Definitely worth checking out. Great performances. Some very surprising gore moments as well. So Forbidden Fruits is really good. And I also saw Hokum, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Yeah, like that one is really, really good. Check that one out because good grief. What a performance. Just what a story. Cool movie right there. And then the last one.
I almost went the other night. I was so close, and I was getting tired, and it was a late one, and I'm like, oh, I'll catch it later. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that was me with Obsession the past like 2 days. It's just, I just don't have time. So I just have not had a chance to see it. But the last one I watched, I know as I just list off 3 movies I've seen, I don't have the time. But the theater and home is a lot different. And then the last one is Faces of Death. It was okay. It was just fine.
I saw an interesting one. It wasn't my scare preview because it's been out for a very long time. But a movie from 2017 called Scarecrows, directed by Stuart Stone and relatively unknown actors. Hannah Gordon, Mike Taylor, Umed Amin is in it, and some others. And I really, really wanted to like this movie and love this movie, and it just kind of fell flat for me. It's about a group of teenagers who are on this road trip. It's 2 couples, and they're on this quest to find this lagoon that they've heard about to go swimming in. Well, they finally get to it, and they're swimming and all this, and one of the guys goes back to get something out of the car, and the car's been moved, as in it's not there. It's nowhere to be found. So they wander through this cornfield where they're abducted one by one and turned into human scarecrows, where they're basically hung up on these crosses, essentially, strung up to die. Some cool things in it, but overall it just kind of fell flat. I gave it 3 stars. I think their actions and, their decision-making process was just pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an interesting film, and just because it's set in a cornfield and had that isolation factor, I just really wanted it to be better than it was. So kind of disappointed with that. But yeah.
I mean, I had never heard of that. I looked it up as you were talking about it, and I mean, it looks like some of the screenshots make it look at least competently made. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, I think it was
Okay.
competently made. I think the cinematography was not a problem.
Okay.
Even the dialogue wasn't terrible. I thought it was decent. It just, yeah, I don't know. I was hoping it was going to kind of go in a different direction. I will say there are no survivors. So spoiler alert. All
Nice.
four of them are, and there was a very suspenseful ending where you think the final girl, who should have been the one who should have been the final girl, crawls out of the cornfield, and she's about to make contact with a couple who are making out in a car parked, right there. And the main guy, the main villain, grabs her and drags her back into the cornfield, just as the girl who's giving her boyfriend a blowjob sits up in the car and looks around because she thinks she heard something, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
God.
So, yeah, no survivors. But
no
anyway.
survivors, but a couple did some blowies, so that's
right.
a win right there.
That was
there
at the last scene of the movie. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. Well, I mean, I might check that one out.
I mean, it's worth a watch. I'd be interested in your take on it. Maybe I'm being overly harsh. I think I was just more disappointed than anything. It's not like it's a terrible movie, but yeah, not what I was hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, 3 stars that's not a bad rating.
No, I generally start every movie with 3 stars, and then it just fluctuates as the film goes. And this one just didn't have a lot of movement on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's fair. That's kind of how I view 3 stars. It's just like it's fine. It's middle of the road. And then 4 is like, oh, it's actually good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Well, this movie that we are going to cover this week on Opening Kill, I would say doesn't exactly fit the mold of Opening Kill movies that we've done in the past. This one's a little bit different. It is 2026's Send Help. And it's kind of like a comedy adventure thriller with a little bit of horror thrown in just for good measure. Now, directed by the great Sam Raimi and written by Damian Shannon and Adam Friedlander, who were involved in the 2009 Friday the 13th. This was released back in January on the 30th. It's 113 minutes, rated R. They filmed it in Australia and Thailand. Just a gorgeous setting, just stunning. And it stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. They made it for $40 million. It made $94 million, so made its money back. And its tagline, meet Linda Little. She's from strategy and planning. She's the boss now.
I love Linda Little.
I do too.
Not going to lie.
I feel
she's like a new movie icon for me.
And I just felt so bad for her because these people were so mean to her before she stranded on the island, and even after and on the way. In a nutshell, it's about an overworked analyst and her arrogant Nepo baby boss when they survive a plane crash near Thailand and must cooperate to survive on a remote jungle island while their workplace power dynamic collapses around them.
And I'm just going to file this movie under good for her, that genre.
Yes.
And,
that's good. That is good. Yeah.
God, I love Rachel McAdams, and I think this is such a different role for her that I really liked seeing her in it. Like, I just was like, good for you. Like, I'm loving this era for you. Like, just making a fun movie. Like, this is what this is. It is a fun movie. Do not take it seriously. It's a Sam Raimi movie.
Right.
Like, there's not a lot of themes with Sam Raimi movies. It's just have some fun with some blood splatter.
Did you see the Bruce Campbell prop that's in this? Because he's not in the movie, but there's a picture of him. He played, and we'll talk about this scene, but he played I think it was the original owner of the company who dies, and his son takes over. Yeah. So somewhere, I didn't see it. I need to go back and watch it again, but there is like a framed picture of Bruce Campbell in the beginning of this movie. So, which I didn't
Nice.
know.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that next time.
Yeah. And Sam Raimi had worked with Rachel McAdams in one of the Marvel movies, and felt that she was grossly underutilized in the film, which is why he immediately wanted to cast her in this so that she could showcase her talent in this, which I found really cool. And I think the casting is fantastic in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just never knew she was in Marvel, but I guess she was in the Multiverse of Madness, and I didn't even know Sam Raimi was a director in that.
I know. I didn't either. So
I've kind of like fallen off the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just too much. There's too much shit. Like,
man, it's hard to follow. Yeah, and there is a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be fun to try and watch everything, and it's just I just got lost, trying to keep up with it.
Now there's shows too. Like it's just no, thank you. I'm out.
Exactly. So we start with Linda Little, and she's basically invisible. Very, very awkward and painfully underappreciated. She's a corporate strategist, and she has spent, many years believing that her loyalty and hard work would eventually earn her the executive promotion she was promised, which was to be the vice president of this company. And that's not what happens, because when the privileged son of the company's former CEO officially takes over, he gives the job to one of his fraternity brothers,
who is a new hire. He's like Linda is really good at her job. Like they depend on her. And just because she wears granny sweaters and long skirts and eats tuna fish sandwiches at her desk, she's just deemed unworthy, I suppose. And that is my favorite thing when a movie tries to see this clearly gorgeous person. She's so ugly though, right? Because we put her in a sweater.
Yes.
It's no, it's still Rachel McAdams. Like, let's be real.
Well, and previous to being promoted, the guy who eventually gets the VP job swings by her cubicle, and she's done all of this number crunching because he has to present it to the board. And she just assumes that she's going to be the one that does that. And he says, "Oh, no, I'll take care of this. We're downsizing a little bit here, and it's just going to be me in there. But I promise they'll know who wrote it because your name's right on top." Well, it's on a little yellow sticky note on top of the reports. And so he goes into the boardroom, and she kind of hovers outside just long enough to see him take the little yellow note off of it, crumple it up, and throw it in the garbage.
Yep. She's just underappreciated, and her only friend is her bird, which that's an aspect that makes someone a little bit less attractive if they're into birds.
Sure.
I hate birds.
Well,
do you like birds, Brian?
I don't mind birds. My sisters had birds when I was growing up, so I have a tiny little bit of experience with them, but I would never have one myself. So
right, like I had a friend that had one, and it never shut the fuck up. So I'm like, I cannot live in a house with a bird. They scare me, and then they just are obnoxious.
Well, it's a good thing that researcher Shay's not here, because they have a parrot, or they had one. I just remember seeing that parrot a lot, and so they like the birds.
Well, they probably still have it because those things live forever.
100 million years old.
They never die. I
really
don't understand. You could probably not feed it, and it'd still eat its own feathers, or I don't know. They seem resilient. Yeah. They're like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. They will find a way.
Yeah. Well, Bradley openly admits that he plans to bury Linda in some meaningless support role because she doesn't have the type of image or personality that the company wants in their leaders. So,
but mostly because she got tuna fish on his finger.
That is the dumbest thing.
Dude, he's such a diva with it. He sees this little bit of tuna on his hand. He's just like, "What is this?" And he makes the Allstate guy smell his finger to determine what's on it.
Dennis
it's like,
Haber
oh, it's tuna fish. Yeah.
is the actor.
And,
He's great.
And so he then makes the connection. It's like, oh, it's from her. She's disgusting.
Well, this was disgusting because she was right before she meets the new CEO. She'd been eating it, and there was this big, like, wad of tuna fish on the side of her mouth, and he's so obsessive compulsive, and so all he can do is stare at that. Her words to him are like just going over his head, and he's staring at it. And she finally wipes her mouth off and then shakes his hand, and that's where he picks up the tuna. Just
I'm
gross.
sorry. If Rachel McAdams is talking to me with tuna fish on her face, probably wouldn't notice.
Yeah, probably not.
I'd be too busy staring into her eyes.
Yeah, I think so. That would be something that one would do, I would imagine.
Right.
So, well, Linda pushes back harder. He's actually interviewing somebody for the company. It's this hot girl that's in his office, and she just barges in. And so he ends the interview, and he's actually kind of impressed that she had the courage to actually go in and confront him. So he impulsively invites her to join him and several execs on this business trip to Bangkok because they're going to finalize a corporate merger. It's a big, big deal. And so for Linda, she feels like, okay, I'm going to prove myself on this trip, and then he'll have no choice but to promote me.
Right. But you can tell immediately she is not really a part of the trip, because when they're boarding the plane, the guy's just like, all right, dicks up.
Yep. One other
dicks
thing
up in the air.
One other thing that should be acknowledged too is we find out also when she's at home that she is a huge Survivor fan, which really sets the stage for the rest of the movie. And
do you like Survivor?
I do. So
for some reason I remember you like talking to me about Survivor, I think.
Yeah, I remember watching it probably before you were born, Michael, because I'm so much older. I remember watching the very first episode when it premiered on TV, when TV was still a thing and not streaming, and fell in love with it. And I think I've seen every season. I haven't seen the last 2 or 3 seasons, but I've seen all the rest of them. And Jeff Probst was actually supposed to have a role in this film. He was supposed to make an appearance, which I think would have been outstanding, but there was some scheduling conflicts and he wasn't able to do it. But I'm just curious as to how that would have looked and everything. But you do hear his voice because she's at home watching Survivor and everything. So yeah. And she actually auditioned for Survivor.
She did.
And that's important to know too.
It is, because as they're in the air flying to Bangkok, she's busy working, like coming up with all the important things that they're going to be going over in this meeting. And she has her headphones in. And while she's doing that, the frat boy group, they're all just watching. They find her audition tape and they're just watching it and laughing their ass off, which, to be fair, it is a little silly. But you don't like, this is so fucking mean. I hated everybody involved.
But I will say, I've seen other Survivor tapes, real ones, and they're just silly. They have to be, because they're looking for people who are just being creative and being silly or whatever. But I was upset too. It was bad enough that they made her feel like such an outcast when they were in the office and then, right before they boarded the plane, but just to continue humiliating her, man, I'm like, man, this is not right.
No, and then it just gets worse, because she then kind of like takes her headphones off, and she then hears what they're doing, and they're making fun of her, and they look back at her and they make eye contact, and they just continue to do it.
They just keep laughing at her. They
don't care.
Yeah.
And that makes her, she just kind of gives up on her work that she was working on. She just exits out of it, doesn't even save it. And I don't blame her. Like, she realizes in that moment that nothing she's working on right now is going to matter. It does not matter.
Right. Yeah. Well, the plane trip takes a turn because they fly into this very violent storm, all the heavy rain, the wind, the lightning, and everything else. and the plane suffers catastrophic engine failure and starts to dive toward the ocean. And there's explosive decompression, which tears through the plane. And, the flight attendant tells the frat boys they need to be in their seats and seat belted. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, whatever.
If you're a pussy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when the decompression happens, and the ones who are not belted in hit the ceiling, and then a big hole blows out of the side of the plane. And Donovan, this asshole, attempts to steal Linda's seat. She's trying to help him, but he's not satisfied. He just wants the seat and her out of it so he can get into it.
Yeah.
And I think what happens next is phenomenal.
It's pretty great. Because then there's also another guy attached to Donovan. So there's two guys attached, and they're fighting over it. The one guy's getting kicked in the face. And yeah, this next scene is pretty satisfying, honestly.
Because all of a sudden we get this.
The opening kill.
She stabs him with a fork that she has.
Yep.
And Donovan and a guy by the name of Chase gets sucked out of the airplane. And, they're just kind of hanging there. So
Chase, though, gets his teeth kicked out by Donovan, and you see all that. And then when they get sucked out, Donovan's tie gets caught on the plane door.
Yeah.
So you just see him getting hung, and his head just smashing against the window, and Linda just puts the shade down and continues
That's
her
the best
flight.
part of this entire movie.
What a great scene.
In all, there are about 6 kills here. Chase and Donovan, you get the 2 pilots who are going to be killed in this plane crash, flight attendant, and I mean, basically everybody except the CEO and Linda. They're the only survivors as the plane goes down into the ocean. Not sure how realistic this crash was, because it seems like it would have been much more violent than what it really was, but it's a movie and we got to have a couple of survivors or we have no plot. So
exactly
that's what it is.
It's such a good scene though, and there's a lot of blood, so I'm gonna give it a butcher knife, and I'm just gonna lump the plane crash as a whole. I think
I say the plane itself could be the opening kill here, because it does what it does and kills all of the nasty people inside, except for the flight crew. I mean, I'm sure they were lovely people.
Yeah, they were probably nice,
but the people they were carrying certainly not. So
exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Butcher knife for me on this too. So the next morning, Linda's on the beach of this island, which they were very close to, because you could see it in the background. They have a shot of the plane in the water, and then in the background, you can see the big palm trees, that are swaying in this wind, this storm. And so they're on this little island somewhere in the Gulf of Thailand. And amazingly enough, Bradley, who is the new CEO, also survived the crash, but he's got some pretty severe injuries. He's dehydrated and very helpless. And she actually finds him just laying there on the beach.
Yeah, maybe if he was wearing his seatbelt like a pussy, he wouldn't be in such bad shape. But, such is life. And she instantly just goes into survivor mode. Like, she's in her element. She's like, I've been training for this. So she, puts up a shelter. She secures food and water. Like, she is ready to roll. And Bradley obviously is incompetent and doesn't know how to do anything. So
plus he's unconscious right now too still. So,
yes. Yeah. Unconscious, incompetent, Nepo baby, little loser. And completely at her kind of mercy, which is when you're going to see, some power dynamics are going to change in this situation.
Yeah. And he still treats her like shit. he wakes up and he does say, at first he says, thank you, but then he starts complaining and just treats her like an assistant rather than an equal, apparently not realizing they ain't in the office anymore.
Yeah. This ain't your daddy's business, pal.
Yep.
This is Thailand.
It's the Gulf of Thailand. There ain't nobody coming for you. And
or as they said in The Hangover 2, Thailand.
That's right. That is correct. So she's tired of all this bullshit. So she just takes off and abandons him for a couple of days. And she comes back and dude is pretty much dead from dehydration. And so he finally gives in and realizes that he's totally out of his element here. And he better listen to Linda, because with all of her survival watching, she now has these mad skills to keep them alive on the island. So he kind of gives in here a little bit.
Yeah, and she's great at hunting. She's catching fish. And then,
oh my God,
probably one of the best scenes in the entire movie. Hey, Strangers Part 2, this is how you handle a wild boar.
Yes.
Can you imagine being that director and having put that movie out, and then you go and watch this? You're like, fuck, this boar's way better.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. God, I wish I was Sam Raimi.
This made me jump. I mean, it literally made me jump while I was watching this. I'm like, oh, dear Lord, this is kind of scary here.
And this is a legit fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I love how this boar, it's pretty obviously CG. I will say that. But I like how Sam, added things to its eyes to make it look crazier. It kind of almost looks like a deadite boar.
Yeah.
The eyes are crazy if you're watching it. So it's just it looks a little bit unnatural, and it's so much fun. Good God,
man. It is
this fight.
Well, and so we start to see her thrive because she's kind of in her element. She's not in the awkward office space anymore. She's out in the wild, surviving. And so her modern life back home never really allowed her to be this way. So now, man, she's home as far as she's concerned.
She's becoming one with nature, because after she kills the boar, she cuts its head off and flings it at camp, and the blood sprays Bradley. And she says, hunting.
Yeah.
I like it.
She likes it.
She likes it. And then she's just eating the pig and just yeah, she is. She is woman. Hear her roar.
Definitely. So she's got this new confidence now, and she's out there because he really can't really go places. He's still kind of immobile because he's got this nasty gash in his leg. So he's not real mobile at this point. So she's out there, doing the hunting and the fishing and exploring the island. And there's this one point where she spots a passing boat offshore that she could signal for rescue, but she says, no, not yet. And she lets it pass.
And it's a boat that's not big, so there's other mainland very, very close.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then there's one night where, she's drinking homemade fruit wine. They're both drinking it because now she can make wine too. So not only is she
of course,
hunting and fishing and building shelters, she's now a winemaker. And she reveals that she was in a very abusive marriage and quietly allowed her drunk husband to literally drive himself to death after years of mistreatment. He was looking for his keys because she would hide her husband's keys when he got drunk so he wouldn't drive. But on this night, she reached a point where she was done and she took the keys up, tossed them on the kitchen table. He took them, went out, got in behind the wheel when he was drunk and ended up dying in a pretty nasty accident. And Bradley kind of seems like he's sympathetic to it, but he's also becoming a little more terrified of her the more that, he sees this side of her.
Right. And he's kind of appearing sympathetic, and he's even offers to cook for Linda.
Yeah.
But then it's revealed that he actually secretly poisons the meal that he made for her with berries. And then he attempts to escape on this makeshift raft that he put together.
Well,
obviously does not work.
His idea, then this came up earlier, he basically threw that idea out to her and said, we can make a raft and we can just, and she's like, a raft? She said, maybe as a last resort, but we're not going to do that. Though someone will rescue us any day now. And They had been out hiking, and she pointed out the berries that you did not want to eat. So that's how he learned how he could poison her. And
she points them out because she tries to make him avoid that area where she sees the boat. She's like, it's lots of poison stuff. Just don't go in this area at all.
Exactly. And then they also went hiking up the side of this mountain, basically, when he was better. And they get to this ledge, and she almost falls off because the ground gives away, and he grabs her and pulls her back up. But she tells him, stay away from that far side of the island because you could get lost over there. You can get stuck in all of the underbrush and the jungle and everything else. So just, definitely.
Stay clear, city boy. You can't handle it.
So the raft, the raft is just destroyed by the first big wave that hits it. He doesn't get very far.
No.
And Linda still rescues him, even though...
because he luckily handled and measured the dosage, so she's not out too bad. She's able to still save him and rescues him from drowning. But
she's throwing up all over him and everything else. This is disgusting because she's trying to give him mouth to mouth, and she's throwing up like this is major, spewing right into his face as she's trying to deliver CPR. And I'm like,
it's classic Raimi.
Yeah, right?
It's so classic Raimi.
Yeah.
Everything from the boar scene is classic Raimi. This puking all over him gratuitously. It's great. And she doesn't just let him poison her slide.
No.
Because in retaliation, Linda paralyzes Bradley using octopus toxin from a blue ring octopus.
Yeah.
And essentially it kind of just paralyzes him so he can't move.
Right.
And this scene is intense.
Oh my God.
Because she is pretending to castrate him. And he thinks he's getting castrated and he can't move. And you just see his eyes and he's just tears.
And he can't feel anything.
Yeah. So she doesn't know that she's not. And it just revealed that she's cutting into a rat. So that's why there's blood sprays and everything.
Oh, because there was blood spray. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This was painful. If you're a guy, this was painful to watch because you really think the blade is going where the blade should never go, right?
And honestly, I was a little bit bummed when it was revealed that she didn't castrate him. I'm like,
yeah, because he's a jerk. Yeah,
let's just say he shouldn't reproduce. So I think it would have been fine.
In essence, Bradley's no longer just stranded there. He's now trapped inside Linda's world. And at least, she had the compassion to show him the rat instead of making him believe that, he'd been castrated. But, Well, things get even more complicated because Bradley's fiance, Zuri, unexpectedly arrives on the island with a boat captain. They had apparently been searching around that island and they called the search off. But she did not. She hired this boat captain. And so they just happened to see her on the other side of the island gathering fruit. And it's kind of funny because she hears the boat and she looks at it and she doesn't exactly know what to do. She's like, oh no. And then it's too late because Zuri sees her and the two of them had met back at the office. Yeah. Oh my God. Hi. Is he still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just threatened to castrate him, but yeah, he's alive.
He's so good. He's so good. So now she's trying to figure out, okay, how do I deal with this? I don't want to leave. This island is becoming home to me, and I don't want to go anywhere. Yeah. Don't want to be rescued. So Yeah, so she's just thinking her whole world now is about to be destroyed by these two people. So terrified of losing control of this new universe she's in, she takes Zuri and the boat captain near that same cliff where she almost died. And and sure enough, Zuri, same thing happens to her. The ground goes out and she's hanging there. The boat captain tries to help her, and Linda's just standing there. And
We don't technically see what happens.
Not yet, right?
Yeah.
We do
We just
find
see
out.
Linda like walk back to the camp and just looks like dead inside.
Exactly. And so that's it. So those two die. They go over the cliff. We'll see it later, but those are kills 7 and 8. And Linda just walks back to camp like, hey, I'm back. Nothing out here happened.
I'm going to bed. Everything's fine now. And she's kind of just like stays that way for a little bit. Not entirely sure like how many days, but it definitely seems like she's just kind of out of commission for a while. And she actually lets like Bradley goes off and like hunts by himself, well, tries to hunt by himself.
Yeah.
And that is when he actually discovers Zuri's buried remains. It's just her hand sticking out of the sand with her like ring showing.
And that the ring is like, I don't know nothing about diamonds and carats and all that, but this ring is spectacular. You could see it from a mile away if the sun's hitting it. It's amazing. But didn't you find it odd the way the hand is just like straight up? Because if you bury somebody, you kind of lay them horizontally, but now all of a sudden it's just her hand that is sticking straight up out of the sand with the ring on it. I found that.
Oh yeah,
odd.
no, it's very weird, but visually it looks funny. So
well,
I think that's why he did it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, there is certainly a lot of comedy in this film.
Yeah.
So
I'd call it a black comedy, honestly.
Definitely.
It's very silly.
Yeah.
And Sam Raimi's stuff is usually pretty darn silly, so it definitely fits with his style.
Sure. So he goes back to camp and now confronts Linda, and she insists that the deaths were accidental, but Bradley is having none of it. He attacks her. They have this struggle, and this is kind of a cool effect because he injures her eye. He basically takes the thumb and jabs it in, and it looks like her eyeball's going to pop out. But it doesn't, and she ends up stabbing him and sends him fleeing across the island. So, yeah. And then he finds something very shocking.
Yeah, I didn't expect this.
I didn't either.
It's kind of like the village moment for me where she discovers, I'm in modern times, and here he discovers, this is somebody's fucking like private island, and there's this giant ass mansion off in the distance, and so not as isolated as originally they thought.
Not at all. And as it turns out, Linda knew about this after they'd gotten to the island. So she knew they could have been rescued. They could have had a house and food and all the supplies. She just simply chose not to leave the new beach world that she is so enamored with. So
but I guess, and this is where we learned that's where she got this knife that she's had throughout the movie. And this house.
I didn't even think about that until this scene. Where did she get this butcher knife that she stabs him with? But she's got it.
She says it washed up on shore, and I don't know. I just bought that. Like, sure, why not?
I'm like,
it could have come from the plane. Like, why not?
Yeah, but I didn't really think about it, and that's, you're right, that she stole it from this house. So she had been in the house before, was familiar with it.
Eaten.
Yep. Oh yeah, and she admits that, she intentionally ignored that first rescue boat. She did cause Zuri and the captain's death. And then we go back, we see a flashback, and she basically, while the boat captain is on his hands and knees trying to pull, Zuri back up, she's got this ginormous rock and she just brings it down over his head, and they both go tumbling over the cliff. And she says she never wanted their isolated life together on the island to end. So That's why she kept all of this a secret and didn't want him going around exploring.
Yep. And yeah, they end up, she's talking to him through like this cameras and like this, I don't know, some like microphone sort
she's
of
in
system.
It's a control room where she's at, like the security control room for this house. And so she's on a
so
mic.
that's how she's telling him all this stuff. And eventually, like, they do meet up, and she ends up threatening Bradley with this shotgun, and he's pleading for his life, claiming that he loves her and would love to live happily ever after on this island with her. Like, that just sounds like so much fun.
And I wasn't buying it for a second. You could see right through it.
Yeah, and Linda notices there's this like ox statue thing, and she noticed that it's missing a horn, and he has his hands behind his back. So clearly he's going to stab her with that. And in a little struggle, Bradley actually seizes the shotgun from her and finds it unloaded because he's pulling the trigger, and it just nothing's happening. And then Linda does overpower him, has him on the ground with this golf club, and she takes this big old swing. And this is one of my most frustrating things because I wanted to fucking see it.
And we didn't.
No. But we do get this cool transition. So there's, there is that. Artistic liberties, I guess.
I guess.
But I just wanted to see Bradley fucking die because I hated him.
Yeah. So we know that it happens because she kills him with the golf club, but now we fast forward 1 year later, Linda has completely reinvented herself. She was rescued, and she's now internationally famous as the sole survivor of the crash. And there's no way to dispute this. There's no proof. I mean, yeah.
And why this is a good transition is because she comes down with the swing to hit him, and then it instantly transcends into this celebrity golf tournament that she's in, and it's her swinging and hitting the ball within this tournament. And after it, I think she ends up winning it. She's being interviewed, and she's promoting this new film adaptation of her best-selling memoir, and also has intentions to write this self-help book, saying, no help is coming, so you better start saving yourself. And then she takes off in her fancy-ass sports car.
Yep.
And again, I'm like, she did nothing wrong in my book.
No. And for the first time in her life, everybody's finally listening to her, right? And
she's seen.
Not seen as some awkward freak like she was before in the office. Yeah. Yep. So that's it. That is Send Help. Final kill count, 9. The bulk of those coming in the plane crash. And she was by far, I think, Michael, my favorite character. I felt so bad for her. I hated the way that she was treated, which is why I didn't mind one bit that she got away with murder and now has this incredible life.
Yeah, no, like I said, file this under good for her. I'm a Linda Little stan, and I will defend her to the ends of the earth, honestly. She's such a good character. Oh my God. Yeah. I was not expecting her to, I guess, technically be the villain, maybe in some people's worlds. I just thought this was a great performance from Rachel McAdams. And I mean, we've seen her be bad. Like, one of her best roles is Regina George from Mean Girls. So I've seen her be nasty, but this is just such a different role for her. And Linda Little is just such an engaging character. I loved her. So easily my favorite character.
Well, and my favorite kill was Donovan, because not only does he get stabbed with a fork and then he's clinging to the side of the airplane for his life, add insult to injury when she takes the window cover and slides it down so you can't see him anymore. Funny. I just laughed. I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. So that was my favorite kill.
That's my favorite kill as well, honestly, unless we're counting the boar.
Well, that was pretty intense. That was scary.
Yeah, that's a great scene. It was a great scene.
It really
You know what?
was.
I'll say Donovan was my favorite kill. Favorite
Mhm.
scene, I'm going to give it to the boar.
So my favorite scene is where she's pretending to castrate him, because just to
Yeah, it's
look at
good.
his reaction on his face, he can't really move, but you can hear him. And she's just playing it up. And then, yeah, when the blood sprays and he's just freaking out. And then, so for me, that was my favorite.
And I do have to say,
yeah.
Dylan O'Brien, who plays Bradley, that was a really good acting scene for him. Like
Yeah.
he did a really good job in that. Because you
He
can
was
tell
good.
he was really good in this movie, honestly.
Yeah. He just, I mean, you just hated this guy by
Yeah.
the time, we got into it. How screwed are we? I think I've learned enough wilderness strategy from watching pretty much every season of Survivor that I think I could hold my own. I think I would explore, I would find that damn house and I'd move in. So, I mean,
Right.
yeah.
I feel the same. Like I grew up in Montana. I'm not by any means a mountain man, but I
Right.
know enough to survive a little bit. And then I would have found the house with Linda. I wouldn't have been mean to Linda, so we would have had no issues there. We would have been working together, and I feel like I would have been totally fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
We would have killed Bradley. It'd be great.
Oh, yeah, that's it. So she is kind of the villain, but not, but she is a final girl. And I give her a solid 10 for everything she did from the time she got onto that island and survived and dispatched of the not only, the boat captain and the girlfriend, but then at the end, getting rid of the main threat, Bradley. I think, give it a 10, give her a 10.
I think so too. And this character feels like kind of special in a way where I feel like there's going to be staying power with this character.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not be surprised if she's talked about in movies like 5 years from now. I just think there's something really special about this role. So I'm going to give her a 10 as well.
What's your star grade on this movie?
I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. It's not a straight up horror movie, but there's enough horror elements in it that I think it works in this podcast and in the genre. I have no problem throwing it into horror.
Right.
I think it's definitely probably more of a black comedy, but a lot of black comedies walk that line with horror, so
They do.
It works.
I give it a 4 as well, and I agree with everything you said. It's not. This is not the typical type of movie that we cover on Opening Kill, but somehow it works. So yeah. It's not really a slasher, but we do have a slasher survival tip for you. If you get stranded on a deserted island and the quiet coworker suddenly becomes really good at survival, maybe don't immediately try to poison them, especially if they know how to hunt octopus, build shelter, and disappear a body before lunch.
Yeah, that's fair.
Coming up, our scare preview. First, Courtney and the Jaunty Hunts podcast.
Yes. Courtney has kept a long secret her entire life that she can see ghosts, but now she is talking about it, sharing with the world, and in doing so, sharing some incredible stories and inviting a lot of guests on to share theirs as well.
That's right. You and I have both been guests on there. She's been a guest on this podcast a couple of times, and she always has just terrific stories. Great guests who have their own stories and just the experiences that she's had in her lifetime. And can imagine keeping something like that a secret for as long as she did, and then now coming out and sharing with the world what it is she can see. Absolutely amazing podcast, Jaunty Haunts with Courtney. Make sure you find it wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
The Scare Preview.
What is your scare preview this week, Michael?
My scare preview, you ever heard of a little game called Hungry Hungry Hippos?
Oh, no, I have. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, June 23rd, we're getting a movie called Hungry. Not Hungry, Hungry Hippos, but it is about a hungry, hungry hippo who's plumb pissed off in the Louisiana bayou. Not generally where you find hippos, but I'm not going to think about it too much.
Right.
I'm going to assume it's escaped from a zoo, and we'll go with that. But the trailer's out, and it looks pretty darn good, actually. I was kind of surprised. The hippo looks solid.
Okay.
The CG isn't cheap looking by any means, and don't really recognize any of this cast, so lots of unknowns, but that is perfect if you ask me. Directed by James Nunn. It's hitting VOD on June 23rd, but it looks really good. I'd say check out the trailer, honestly. It looks like a fun time.
Man, you have a lot of animal-themed scare previews I've noticed here lately.
I do love animal horror for whatever reason.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that because I have one that's similar. It is a movie called Crawlers. I don't know if you have heard of this one, directed by Angel Gomez Hernandez.
Ooh.
He is also, I think he's also writing this as well. He's part of the writing team. But again, the actor's not real well known. Matilda Lutz, Greg Sulkin, Melina Matthews, Chris Rogers. And tenants at Paradiso Palms Apartments fight a deadly spider invasion while the cunning building manager might be their only hope for survival. This comes out right at the start of spooky season on October 2nd of this year, but the movie is called Crawlers. So very interesting.
For some reason, I thought that was going to be like a sequel to that alligator movie, Crawl.
Oh, right.
But Crawlers makes more sense with spiders, so that checks out. Are they like mutant spiders?
It doesn't look like it, but I mean, they could be. And spiders, I do not like spiders. And I remember when the movie Acrophobia or Arachnophobia came out, like in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
That one literally gave me the creeps. So I expect something similar out of this movie as well.
Yeah, I never saw Arachnophobia as a kid, but I did see that Robin Williams Jumanji movie.
Oh yeah,
and there is they're giant spiders. They're fucking gross in that movie, and I remember those giving me the heebity-jeebities. So, not a fan of spiders either.
Right,
so.
Right. Well, Harry Potter has its share of giant spiders as well. So
yeah,
spiders are a thing.
Aragog.
Yeah,
they are.
Yep. Well, that will wrap up this episode of Opening Kill, our second to last episode of our second season. Thank you if you've been with us from the very beginning. We're sorry, but continue to follow us as we move forward here. I think we're getting better. I don't know. We're just having fun talking about movies and love to have you be a part of it. So our finale is next week, and we're bringing back a guest that we had on with us a few weeks ago. Gil Klaben directed a movie called Weekend at the End of the World, and the movie had not been released yet when we had Gil on with us, so we didn't really give a lot of the spoilers away in the movie. We were fortunate to be able to watch an advanced copy of the film. Stars Thomas Lennon from Reno 911 fame and some other very talented actors, and we just had a great conversation with Gil.
Yeah, and so now we're not going to be playing coy with the plot. We're just going to spoil it. So check out Weekend at the End of the World now, so you'll be all prepped and ready to go for the episode. It's definitely worth checking out. Such a fun movie. Yeah, and I'm excited to talk to Gil again and now really actually dive into the movie.
I think that's why he's coming back, because he knows you and I really enjoyed the movie, and we're going to say nice things about it. For the most part, I'm sure we'll critique something on it, but
how silly would it be if this was just such a bait and switch and we're like, oh, we love it so much, and then it's just a ploy to get him on the show and be like, your fucking movie sucks.
It's terrible.
That would just be so silly of us.
Oh, I think it would be, but I don't think he has much to worry about because
it's not going to be the case.
They
this time.
Yeah, this time. They didn't have very much money to make this film, and what they were able to accomplish, just like our friend Roger Connors, when we had him on for his film Meat, didn't have a lot of money. And he got this thing made. And then Devour, which we talked to the director and the cast last week. These are indie films, not a lot of money, and they make the most of it. So it's kind of exciting to get into that world. I mean, we still obviously are going to do the big films as well, but to be able to do some of these small indie films and really get that insight with the director, the person who created this world, and find out what it really took to pull it off. It's really interesting stuff.
Yeah, it just gives you such like a appreciation for the art as a whole when you hear about what goes into it, because it's not easy. It's a struggle. You're fighting everything to get these things done, and so the fact that they get it done at all is super cool.
Absolutely.
Let alone have it be kind of enjoyable to actually watch. So that's always a plus.
Totally. So subscribe to us on all the socials. We're on Instagram and Facebook. And don't forget to follow our channel on YouTube for the video version of Opening Kill.
Yep, we got the video version. We've got the audio version. We have clips from the episodes that you can check out as well. Share those, like them, comment on them. Let's get them some engagement so we can grow this bad boy.
Yeah.
And subscribe to us on all your favorite podcasting platforms, all that good stuff. And share us with your horror-loving friends and family as well.
Yep. And you can check us out online at openingkillpodcast.com and email us at openingkillpod@gmail.com as well if you want to maybe suggest a movie. Now, obviously, we are done for this season, but you want to throw something at us for consideration for season 3, which will be starting up in first week of October. Please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep, please do.
All right. We will see you next week for Weekend at the End of the World.
Opening Kill is produced by Mystic Cloud Productions and hosted by Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And don't forget, you can watch the video versions on YouTube. See you next time. If you survive the opening kill.